So we're going to do some standing stretches today. Welcome to Sky Yoga. And so it would be helpful to have a tall chair about waist height, but if you don't have that, you can always use a bookshelf or even the wall. So we're just going to do some standing stretches later. We'll start off with our usual seated breathing, pranayama. So have a seat with your legs crossed or not, whatever works for you. Allow your lower body to relax down and support you. Allow your spine to just rise up like a candle. Nice and straight, but flexible too. And then tuck in your chin. Make sure your shoulders and elbows are relaxed. And just slow down and observe your breath a few moments. And now I'm going to do some belly breathing. You can join me or do any other pranayama you like. So one way to do belly breathing is place a hand on your belly and another hand on your heart, and just kind of feel that wave motion as you breathe. You pull air down into your belly, and then your lungs inflate, and then you deflate in the opposite direction. So sitting up nice and tall, but relaxed, let your belly be soft, and then draw the air down into your belly. You're going to feel your belly inflate and then your chest. And then when you release that breath, you'll feel your chest go down and then your belly. So it just makes a wave. And now we'll do some more active cleansing breaths. So rest your hands on your knees. We're going to continue to inhale deep into the belly, let your belly inflate. And then exhale, really push out the air. Feel your belly go concave. And if you want, you can join me for the lion's breath on this next exhale. With a little bit of a roar. All right, let's stretch the neck now. So drop your chin down. Let your head hang heavy. And maybe just wag your chin side to side. Just a very small movement. And you can move forward at your own pace here. So once you feel like your neck is starting to loosen up, then you can start rolling your head in a big half circle. Chin to shoulder, through the center, chin to shoulder. Try to keep your back upright. It's tempting to hunch forward. And if that's working out well for you and you feel like you're getting warmed up, then you can maybe try a full circle. And if that doesn't feel quite right, then just stick to the half circle. And you can always try the other direction. Again, it's okay if you can circle one way and not the other. Just do what your body is able to do. And then sit back up nice and tall, and we'll open the arms out and stretch wide all the way through your fingertips. And then inhale up. And exhale slowly down. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, release. One more time. Got my evening yawns, I'm so sorry. And then exhale down until your arms are level. And then we'll bring one arm across your body and hook underneath it, pulling your arm in close to you. So try to keep your chest and shoulders rotated to the front. And feel this in your upper arm, maybe your deltoids. And on your next inhale, open wide. And exhale the other arm across, holding it in. So the long arm, the one that's being stretched, is relaxed. Goodness, excuse me. And on your next inhale, open wide and reach up. Fill your lungs and then drop one hand down and pull your elbow back. Relaxing that arm, let your hand hang loosely between your shoulder blades. Maybe you feel a stretch down into your mid back like I do, down toward the bottom of the rib cage. From squeezing the shoulder blades together. And on your next inhale, reach high. And then exhale the other hand down and pull that elbow back. Oh, goodness. And then inhale, open wide. And exhale, wrap yourself in a hug. Let your hands land on your shoulders and pull your shoulder blades forward. Make sure your neck is still loose. And then we'll release and do shoulder rolls. Inhale up, exhale down. And really feel the effect of this on your back as your shoulder blades squeeze together, rolling backward. And let's change direction. Wonderful. And now let's come down to hands and knees. It's time for cats and cows and maybe a water. So from your hands and knees, we're going to lengthen through the arms, press down into the heel of your hand and the ball of your hand, those pads at the base of your fingers. Stretch up, feel the stretch in your inner elbow. Press your back and your belly upwards, drop your head. And pause here at the top of your arch. Feel that space opening up between your vertebrae. And then with an exhale, swing back. Let your butt rest on your heels. Maybe your arms slide forward a bit. And pause here and feel that length from your fingertips to your hips. Going through your shoulders, arm length, back length. And then pull your hands in a bit, drop your elbows, and start pulling forward. Lead with the chin, lift your head, lift your hips, let your belly drop. And pause here. Feeling the stretch in your abdomen. And then slowly, deliberately flip your back in the opposite position and keep flowing through your cats and cows. And then the next time your hips are heading back, open up your knees, touch your big toes, bring your head down to the mat, and sink down into child's pose, devotional pose. Feel that cow-like swoop in your back. And then slowly make your way back up, bring your legs back to parallel, and then swing forward into up dog. Hips low, arching your back. If that's too rough on your low back, come down to your elbows. Resting on your elbows, you can look over your shoulders. Let your abs relax and stretch. Nice. And now we'll come back up onto hands and knees and do thread the needle. So inhale your right arm high, reach for the ceiling, and then exhale, bring it all the way to the floor or resting on a cushion. Your head rests too. Your hands touch palm to palm and your left hand slides out. Let your butt just poke up in the air. Maybe you feel a stretch in your low back here or some compression in your mid back. And once your left arm is fully extended, you can wrap it around with your next exhale and roll your right forearm on the floor. Check in with both your shoulders. They're both getting a rather different type of stretch. Your top shoulder is stretching from the twist and your bottom shoulder is stretching from the body weight, pressing down on it. And let's unwind that left arm, bringing your hand close to your face and pressing up. And inhale the right arm high again. Exhale it down. We'll switch sides. Inhale your left arm high. Exhale all the way down. Hands palm to palm, and then your right hand slides out and stretches. And then maybe with an exhale, you wrap it around behind you and rotate, roll your left forearm. Again, check in with each shoulder. How does it feel? Are you at the edge of your comfort zone without causing pain? And now let's unwind the right arm, press up, inhale the left arm, and bring it down. All right, now it's time for a kickstand. We'll kick back the right leg, flex at the ankle and roll your foot around. Roll it the other direction. And stretching your leg, and now we'll swing that leg out to your side as far as it will go. Come down to sit on your left heel if you're able. And I'm going to do the variation where I let my body weight just slide to the left until I'm really sitting on my left thigh, and then reach out for the right ankle. We'll bring the hand back first and then bend your knee and lift up, and we'll switch sides. Now kicking back the left leg, roll your foot, roll it the other direction. And now swing your leg out to the side. And again, you're probably familiar with both the variations here. I'm going to do the let your body weight sink over to the right. So I'm actually sitting on my right thigh with my torso resting on it, and then reaching out toward the left ankle. Your head can hang if that's comfy. Maybe reach a little further, stretch out toward your foot. And then bring your hand back, lift your hips up, bend the knee, and we're back in tabletop for drunken cow. So at any time, if you feel like you need support under your wrists or knees, do that. Put a towel or a blanket under there, or fold your mat in half. And we're going to spin around like a drunken cow. I've never actually seen them do this, but I know that they can. When they eat the fermented apples under the apple tree. Get a little woozy. Ooh, and we already did our child's pose. Go ahead and change direction if you haven't yet. Sorry, I don't think I said that. We already did child's pose and up dog. So let's come back to center and then flip around to the backside. We'll do one conditioning move today. We'll sit in boat pose for 30 seconds. Grab the clock and come up on your butt, find your balance, lift your shins, and then you can reach out towards your feet. Feet together is easier, feet apart is harder, and prepare for 30 seconds of boat pose. Here we go. Breathe, use your abs, use your quads. Try to keep your back straight and not let it sink down. Ten more seconds. And you made it. Good job. Bring your feet down, hug your knees, lift your back, look over your shoulders. Good job. We did a little core work. And now we're going to come slowly up to standing. So it's a water break for me. And let's come through little squats. So bring your feet in front of you. You're going to use your hands to lift your butt off the ground. Bring one elbow inside your knees and the other, and you're in a low squat. Hands can be in prayer pose or knuckle to knuckles, a little bit more stretch. And your feet can be flat, or you can be up on the balls of your feet. And really just pause here and let everything hang down between your knees. So we're allowing your pelvis and your low back to be weightless for a moment, to not do all that supporting work they've done all day. So I'm really getting a nice stretch in the inner thighs. Just really relax everything. We're kind of just using the skeleton as a prop here. All right, and now we're going to drop the hands to the floor and slowly straighten your legs, lifting your hips until you're in forward fold. You can keep your knees bent if you prefer. Bend at the hips. And if you don't like this feeling of hands in the air, you can put a block under your hands or a cushion or something. And then gently shift your weight, shift it forward. Your heels are going to stay on the mat, but your weight is coming forward. You can really feel the stretch in your calves.
And then shift back. This is going to be a balance challenge, shifting back your weight into your heels. Again, you'll feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. And then bring your weight evenly over your feet and just hang here a moment. You can grab your elbows if you like. And then let go, engage your abs, and we're going to roll up nice and slow. So rolling up, low back, mid back, use your abs, upper back, and then roll back your shoulders and straighten your neck. Yeah. Ah. Whew. Okay. So the first pose I want to do here for standing stretches is a supported down dog. So you're going to touch that piece of furniture that's about waist height. Maybe it's a high back chair, maybe it's a bookcase or the wall. And then stand back arm's length and bend again from the hips, not the waist, until you're in that swooping suspension bridge pose. The way you feel in down dog, except that we're supported by something. Or if you prefer, you can just go into down dog, that's fine too. So the legs are straight, or you can keep a slight bend in your knees. We're bending from the hips, not the waist. The back is just kind of scooped out, hanging down. Arms are long. Feel all that weight stretching your arms out. If you have a bar, like a ballet bar, not a drinking bar in your house, you can do this from your bar. And then we're going to come up and straighten and lean toward your thing, the wall, whatever it is, with straight legs. So we're straight from shoulders to ankles. So this is the other support for down dog. Nice. And now step up to your object, and we'll do a couple of standing poses. So first, let's do a stretch for the low back. You can keep your right hand on the thing or not. If you feel like you've got a little more balance than that, we're going to stand in mountain pose with your feet parallel under your hips. And slowly come up so that your weight is on the ball of your left foot, your knee is in front of you. Sink your weight down into your right foot. And we're going to slowly lift your left knee in front of you and hug it tight to your chest. This is great for the low back, and of course it's also a standing balance, so it's good for your balance. It builds strength in your right leg. You can wiggle your foot around like I was doing. So really, I can feel the strength in my right leg. You can bend the knee like you're sitting and then stand again. Woo, little mini workout. So hug that knee in tight. And now we're going to slide your left hand down to touch your foot. You can place your right hand, it might still be on your balance thing, or you can place it on your heart. We're going to slide your hand down until you're holding your foot, and then pull your foot behind you. And we're in flamingo pose, which we do in the standing balance flow. And this is a great stretch for the quad. So again, your right leg is working hard, building strength and balance. And release. And you can just kind of sway and shake it out a moment. Got a latecomer to let in. All right. And now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you can rearrange yourself or your object if you need it for your left hand to hang on to. We're going to come up onto the ball of the right foot. Your right knee is in front of you, and send your weight down into your left foot. So gather all your weight into your left foot, and then when you're ready, slowly lift your right knee up toward your chest and hug it in. So you can keep your left hand on the chair or the wall or whatever if you need to. Feel the strength as your left leg wobbles to keep your balance. You can rotate your ankle if you like. Hug it tight. This is great for your low back. Shoulders back. So don't pull forward into it. Lift up tall. Pulling the shoulders back. And I'm about to lose my balance. Here we go. Now we're going to shift into flamingo pose. So you can either keep gripping your balance object or place your left hand on your chest. We're going to slide the right hand down until you've got your ankle or your foot in hand, and then pull it behind you. So your knee is directly below your thigh, pressing down toward the floor, and we're getting a great quad stretch here in flamingo pose. So stretching your knee downward, stretch your quad. And release. Nice. And we'll just sway a bit here. And now we'll do some other poses that don't require the chair or anything else. We'll do some wide angle poses. So come into the widest stance that's comfortable for you. Hi, Mike. Your feet can point out toward different corners of the room. They don't have to be parallel. That could be rough on your knees. So if this hurts your knees, try pointing your toes outward, sorry. And then check your posture. Are you leaning forward or back? Find your center and sit centered over your hips. And now we're gonna just start tilting your hips. So if you tilt your hip to the right, you'll feel a stretch in your left inner thigh and vice versa. It's a very flirty pose, so enjoy it. So we're just using our stance to stretch the inner thigh. And you might also feel this in your waist. And now we're going to go into pyramid pose. So turn your right foot out and your left foot's probably going to follow a little bit. And again, we're going to bend, not from the waist, but from the hip, and just come down as far as your body allows, resting your hands on your shin or your ankle or your foot. Maybe if you have a block, you can rest your hand on that. Whatever works for you. This is pyramid pose. Some people can get their knee to their shin. I'm not even close, so don't worry about that. Just think about how much your front leg is stretching. I'm feeling that in the hamstring and also in the shin in the front. Feel that very small wobbling, right, as your legs try to keep your balance and therefore build strength. And now we're going to come around and face the front. So bring your hands out in front of you in the center. Your feet probably pivot back to the same position they were in earlier. And now we're going to pivot to the other side. So your left foot points to the side of the room. Your right foot swings around a few degrees. And now we're coming down to rest your hands on your left shin or ankle or block or whatever. Try to distribute your weight evenly between both legs. Feel the stretch. I'm feeling it in the hamstring especially, but also in those shin muscles. It feels really good. And try to relax your left leg. I just found myself kind of tensing up the left leg. That doesn't help. Let it go. And now bring your hands back through the center again. Your toes probably come back to that original position. I'll turn sideways so you can see. A little slippery. There we go. Okay. So nice wide stance, as wide as you're comfortable with. Maybe grab a block or a cushion if you have one. And see how far you can come down. Can you bring your head to the floor? Or bring your head to your block? And just feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. You can bring your hands to your ankles and lean forward.
shift back. Lift your toes off the mat. You don't want to be gripping the mat. There's no need for that. Let your weight sink down into the four corners of your feet, your heels and the balls of your feet. And then see how close you can come to a tabletop. Can you get your back nice and flat? Maybe with your hands on a block. Feel a little bit of a cow pose in your back even. And now we'll bring our hands down again to the floor or the block, whatever works for you. Let's center the right hand under your face and lift the left arm high. This is Rishi's twist. I'm really feeling this in the right inner thigh. And we'll drop the left hand. It replaces your right hand. And you lift the right arm high. Stretching the left inner thigh, left hamstring. And then bring your right hand down. And we're going to heel toe in until your feet are parallel under your hips again. And we'll do that same stretch again from forward fold instead of a wide angle forward fold. So rest your right hand on your block or the floor and lift your left arm high. And just kind of mentally compare, how does this feel different from doing it in the wide angle? For me, it's more about the shoulder now and less about the legs. And now bring your left hand down to the block or the floor and lift your right hand high. And then drop both hands. Hang out here a moment in forward fold. You can grab your elbows if you like. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs and the release in your low back as the weight is taken off. And then engage your abs and we're going to roll up to standing. So take your time, use your abs to lift your low back, your mid back, upper back. Roll back the shoulders and lift the neck. Excellent. And here we are in standing again. And we'll finish off with that ballerina stretch that I love. So in the ballerina stretch, we start in mountain pose, feet parallel and under your hips. And inhale up, reach up high, clasp your hands together and turn your palms to the ceiling. And now we're going to take your left leg and step behind you, making two sides of a box with your feet. So your feet are pointing in perpendicular directions. One's pointing at the front of the room, one's pointing at the side of the room. You may feel this in your low back. I'm feeling stretch under my arms. And it's very graceful and beautiful. Keep breathing. And on your next inhale, step back to center. And then exhale and step your other foot away behind you. So you're creating two sides of a box. I really like the stretch that I feel in the back calf. In this position, we're getting some stretch and twist in the hips as well. If this upright arm position is tough, you could always do this with your arms instead, clasping them behind you. Either way, we're drawing the shoulders back and opening the chest. And then with your next inhale, step back to center. Very nice. Let's do a couple of shoulder rolls. Bend your knees. Just kind of ease your back into things. And we'll make our way nice and slow down to the mat for knee down twist. Child's pose. So making your way down to your back, hug your knees. Let your low back relax into the mat. Maybe you like to rock in this position. And now we're going to tee out the arms and bring your knees directly over your hips so your thighs are vertical. And then drop your knees to the left. Your left hand rests on top of your right knee and holds your thighs down. So I am feeling a stretch in the outer right hip and the IT band. And I'm looking either at the ceiling or over the right shoulder toward my right hand. Relax your left hand. All we're doing is using the weight of the left arm to hold the thighs down. Your feet can relax and spoon with each other. And then if you're not looking at the ceiling, roll your head back up to center and do that. Engage your abs and pull your knees back up as well. And then give your knees a nice hug. Unkink that twist. And then push your knees back up to vertical, tee your arms out again, and we'll drop the knees to the right. Right hand holds them down. And then you look at the ceiling or way over your left shoulder. Feeling a nice stretch in the left hip. Look up at the ceiling, engage your abs, pull up your knees, give them a hug. You might want to bring your forehead up to your knees and grab your heels. And I like this position because it presses the low back into the mat. It's like a little free massage. And then relax into your Shavasana pose. So you can have your arms at your sides, palms up. That's the traditional arm position. You can extend your legs and let your thighs relax so your feet flop outwards to the sides. If you want support for your low back, then you can put a pillow under your knees or bend your knees and let them rest against each other with your feet on the floor. Wherever you are, let's relax from head to toe. Relax your scalp. Release your forehead muscles. If your eyebrows are pulled together, let them drift apart. Relax your eye muscles. Let your eyes be soft. They can even roll back in your head a little bit. Relax all the muscles around your mouth. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. And as you let that tongue muscle go soft, feel your throat open up, allowing air to move in and out more freely. Feel your skull weighing heavily into the mat. And then feel how having that support of your head allows your neck to relax. Let your shoulders sink backward. And let this feeling flow down your arms, warm and soft, down to your fingertips. Maybe it feels like you're holding a heavy beanbag in each hand. And then bringing your attention back to your torso, let your back sink heavily into the mat. Let your rib cage relax so that your breath can breathe itself. Let your abs sink downward towards your back. Let your glutes relax into the mat. Let all the pelvic muscles be soft, unclenched. Let your thighs and hamstrings go soft. Let your knees be soft and your calves. Let your heels sink down heavy into the mat. And let your feet relax. Soft arches, soft toes. Feel your whole body just resting on the mat, supported, relaxed. Take a deep breath and pull fresh air into your fingertips and toe tips. And start making small movements, transitioning back to your day. And then enlarging those movements as you're ready. Maybe you want to take a big, long, full stretch. Maybe you want to curl up into a ball again. When you're ready, roll to one side, resting your head on your arm. And as you're ready, push up to seated. Thanks everyone for practicing with me. Namaste.